and report everything. Yeah, I'm part of it.
Yeah. Closer, I think that's a second. Got Verizon here, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Be nice.
Right.
Yeah, he's asking. Oh, we mentioned with him, I haven't had time to be the LT's performance. You don't get that amazing, so you don't get that.
You know, don't take me long, you can jump.
Yeah.
Pretty fit, it's like they're not sleeping.
That's.
Like this. After I get so home. It'll still need to have.
You found it.
Bonds in the amount.
I look at this, I don't.
It also needs to.
Down Sylva Board of Commissioners meeting. Thursday, August 13th. Start with, I entertain a motion that we approve the agenda. Have a motion, do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. All opposed, by like sign, motion carries. I also entertain a motion that we approve the consent agenda. We have a motion, do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. All opposed, by like sign, motion carries. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment? No. Moves on the reports, starts with me. I guess I could talk a little bit about something I've gotten several phone calls about in the last week or so. And it'll be on next week's agenda is an appeal to approve the Veterans Day Parade. And I've heard a lot from the community about it. I have a personal feeling about it myself. I have a lot of appreciation for our veterans. We wouldn't have little town boards, county commissioners, or anything else if it were sacrifice our veterans make this country. So at next week's meeting, I will be honored to propose that the town of Sylva enter into an agreement with the county exactly and identical to Western Carolina University, where they provide half the law enforcement. Close Main Street for Veterans Day, whenever it is they have it. That's all I have to report today.
Yeah, thank you. First off, I want to welcome back all of our Jackson County public school students and teachers and staff, as well as parents. Hope you all had a wonderful first couple of days of school and have a wonderful fall semester. Especially want our students, the staff, and educators know that, I think I speak for all of us on the town board, that we appreciate you so much and support the important work that you do for community. Second of all, just a heads up, I'm on the Western North Carolina Civil War Roundtable, and there's a really interesting opportunity that this Saturday, August 15th, the Western North Carolina Civil War Roundtable is making a trip over right over the mountain to Madison County. They're going to be touring some Civil War sites, including the Shelton Laurel Massacre site. It's led by local historian Dan Slagle. He's a rock star. He's awesome. He actually helped me with some of my own research. He's great. The group is going to carpool Waynesville Public Library at 9 a.m. Saturday morning. And if you have an interest in this, yeah, it'll be a great opportunity to go along. And Dan will talk about the Shelton Laurel Massacre. I don't know if you all know about this, but in January of 1863, Confederate troops infamously massacred local men and young boys. The youngest was about 12. 11, 12, maybe 13 years old. It's probably one of the most notorious episodes in Civil War history. And it's a pretty powerful example of just how deeply communities, divided communities can be, families, they were here in the mountains. And if you do want to reserve a spot, you can email Civil War Roundtable. It's civilwarrt@gmail.com. That's civilwarrt@gmail.com. So if you're a history nerd and you hear about this, it's really fascinating. It is $5 per person. That's all I got. Thanks.
Thanks, Sam.
Right. Well, I'd like to report that I don't want to go after Sam anymore.
You are the mayor pro tem. You want to go after me every time?
Something to follow it. Nothing real to report other than it's hot, and I want to give a special thanks to Jake and his folks for being out in this. I've seen them out there, and what I usually do is wave. And that's about all I can offer, but it's grueling out there. It has been for several weeks, and I've seen you guys getting it. And I really appreciate it. Thank all of us do. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, weeks ago attended that Southwestern Commission annual dinner and was just kind of struck by the amount of, service-minded people there. And I, wrote sent some emails about that. It just felt good. And, it takes a lot of people the theme was people showing up all the time and again. And there's, an obvious lot of love for this community and for the region. That was just exhibited there. It just felt good to be there. That's it.
I'll add something into that. Kudos to our board for the first time since I've been there. The entire board showed up for the Southwestern Commission Viper, and I was proud to see that. So thank you all for showing up.
I don't have anything to report.
Okay. Good. That moves us on to our manager's report.
Good evening. I also wanted to thank all of you for attending. It was very nice to have the entire board there, and Sylva was well represented. Let's see, for employment updates, Austin Whitehead has been sworn in as a Sylva police officer, so we want to congratulate him. He took his oath today. Michael Ryan has been hired as a patrol officer and started his field training. He's been in law enforcement since 2021 and most recently worked with the Sheriff's Department. So we want to welcome him to town employment. And Abby Smith is leaving the fire department August the 30th to go to the Waynesville Fire Department. So she'll be an asset to them. And we have interviews scheduled. I'm also pleased to announce that Angie Stanley has been hired as our new town clerk and tax collector. She will start on Monday. She previously worked at the Jackson County Board of Education and Harris Regional Hospital. So she comes qualified with customer service oriented background, includes personnel record processing, bookkeeping, billing, payroll, and health insurance. So we're looking forward to welcoming her. And then town administrative staff will be consumed with audit field work the week of August the 24th to the 28th. I want to thank Lynn and Amanda that they've been working diligently preparing reports and other information that'll be necessary. So thanks to them. And other than that, most large equipment that was approved in the budget has been ordered. So we're just moving along. Do you all have any questions?
I don't. Thank you.
Thank you.
Something that we don't have any other reports from department heads. Everybody's good? Right. Let's move us on to new business. Apparently there was a presentation about Fisher Creek Dam.
Ready, man. All right, we're gonna talk about the dam. We've alluded to this. We talked about it a little bit back during the budget discussions. I think everybody's aware at this point that we do have some decisions to make about that. Start with a little bit of,
Something.
If you need my readers, do you? Welcome.
See if it works.
now it's working. All right, so a little bit of background. Dam was constructed in 1972. It was the original water supply reservoir for the town of Sylva before Tuwassa was formed and when Sylva did the water supply and sewer stuff here in town. It is earthen. It does have a membrane liner. Excuse me. Structural height's about 29 feet. Maximum capacity is about 8 million gallons. As it was originally designed, it give or take about, I think it probably holds a little bit more than that, just given how long it took us to get it empty. It was decommissioned as a water supply in 1992, right around the time that Tuwassa was formed. To the best of my knowledge, the town or Tuwassa has never used it. So the original raw water intakes are on Dills Branch and Pinnacle Park. Neither of those currently function. So the only way to get water in it right now is a well. It was a supplementary well back when it was a water supply. All the infrastructure is still underground between the old raw water intake there on Pinnacle Park and Dills Branch. But every time you open those valves, we get new leaks everywhere. So those have largely been decommissioned. This is an as-built design drawing of the dam as it was originally installed. This is what we'll be talking about mostly. This is the dam. This is Fisher Creek proper right here. It's worth mentioning, we'll discuss this a little bit further along. This dam isn't holding back a waterway. This is essentially a large pond. So the wellhead somewhere is currently right over here, and the original filling infrastructure and draining infrastructure comes in here and exits out this way. For reference, Fisher Creek Road somewhere over here, Grapevine Lane comes around kind of like so. So there's one picture of it as we're getting close to getting it completely emptied. It's more empty than that now. You can see the geomembrane that's going to come back up later. This is the original flow structure right here to fill. That's from another vantage. This catwalk and intake tower, you can see where this is collapsed and fallen down. One of the requirements DEQ has asked us to repair that, among other things. And this is how you control the level of the reservoir at this structure right here. So the requirements, we need to update the flood modeling if we leave it as is. And by as is, I mean a functioning reservoir. We need to devegetate the southern slope of the dam and toe contact. We have to pull everything over a certain size out, and that has to be refilled with properly compacted fill. We got to repair the overflow spillway weir. It's got some vegetation growing around it, and it's also a little bit undersized. And then to repair that collapsed walkway and intake tower. You can still get out there to it. It's just not, it's a little dodgy. So the first alternative, Paige and I approached, and Mike, we contracted with S&ME. They're an engineering firm that has a dam specific division to give us some alternatives rather than just fixing it. So the first option, if we just fix the things that they're asking us to fix, we're looking at an approximate cost of $288,100. There's pros and cons to that. Pro is that it is the least costly option. I'm gonna spend a little bit more time talking about the cons. That dam, because of the way it's constructed and the amount of structures that are below it, will probably be always on the high hazard list for the state of North Carolina dam enforcement folks. It's a liability that we don't need, and this doesn't remove that liability. We'll have to file an annual emergency action plan if the dam were to breach for some reason. That's every single year with the DEQ, and then every 5 to 10 years, we have to update the flood models, and that takes contracting with an engineer. Currently, that costs between $50,000 and $60,000 each time you need to do it. Does not address future repairs. The geoliner is in pretty poor repair currently. And it also does not, it doesn't remove future maintenance costs to keep it up to snuff. So, and I mentioned earlier, we don't have a proper way to fill it or a proper way to drain it. We're one valve failure away from pretty epic mess up there right now. When you draw something like water, it drains into Fisher Creek. You can only put in so many gallons a day to maintain water temperature and reduce sedimentation, all the things that come with millions of gallons flowing into a waterway. They prefer you not do that most of the time. All right, and so here is a plan for just repairing the first alternative that we just discussed, superimposed onto that original as-built. So if you've got a dam here, plan south, all this vegetation right here needs to be removed. And that's where I was talking about compacted backfill. And that has to be tested and observed by an engineer. That's also worth right now. Repair the intake structure here and the walkway right here. Anybody have any questions so far?
That's all option one.
All option one. Yeah. This is the very, very minimum of what we have to do to meet the DEQ requirements.
And the estimated cost for that was 288.
So yeah, 200, and that's estimated. Alternative 2 is decommissioning, and that comes at cost of $419,000 or $419,700,000 or good grief, $419,700. Excuse me. So this plan calls to breach the dam so that the reservoir can no longer hold water. Install a tank that will accommodate fire department. Because the fire department needs water up there for several reasons. They do burn training. They have, I think in one of those pictures, you can see there's the practice structure, and they also do their pump tests up there too. So we can get them something in 50 and 100,000 gallons so they can do their training and their testing. That'll likely be, I think it probably would be above ground just for maintenance reasons. But we would leave that to the engineers as well.
Aren't there other fire departments training up there too?
Yeah, every department in this county and a few from other counties that use that. It removes the liability of having a 29-foot earthen dam that the town owns. It also removes the responsibility to report to the DEQ every year. And it also removes long-term costs of keeping a reservoir up that does nothing for us but a little bit of pump testing and fire training. Not to dismiss that, but if you look at the cost and the liability, there's way better ways to get water to the fire department, in my opinion. And the con is that is the most expensive option.
There's another addition to that is peace of mind from the homeowner below.
Sure. Are there any questions about that alternative?
Is the well that's there, that's what's on, is it in?
Yeah, we can fill the tank. Yeah, there's about between 70 and 80 gallons a minute at that well.
So I understand that tank's about $30,000.
Projected to be about 40.
Is that included in that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
that cost is a estimation of the entire alternative too.
And has anybody discussed where the money's coming from?
Well, there are some grants, most of them federal, for dam removals.
Okay.
We kind of need direction from you guys before we start chasing down money. So I don't think we're voting on this tonight. Are we, Paige? What's that? I'm sorry, Brad, what?
There are more options.
Oh, yeah, there's two more.
Okay.
Jay, I've got a question kind of comparing the two. So
Mhm.
do we know, is there a cost for upkeeping the tank versus on the first alternative, those other kind of estimated costs of going through the upkeep of that dam? Because it sounds like the first option is kind of short term, it's cheaper, right?
Sure.
Kind of longer term, there's gonna be additional.
Yeah, so and on the outside, like if we repair everything and then leave it be, in another 20, 30 years, we're gonna have to do the exact same thing. That geoliner that size probably come at a $250,000 cost just for the liner, if that ever needs to be replaced. Sun exposure since the reservoirs have been empty hasn't done it any favors either. It's not designed for UV light. It's supposed to be underwater. But the removing the hazard of having a dam full of water, that was at the suggestion of the DEQ. It was a worthwhile trade-off, in my opinion.
So long term, this is, I mean, the
Long
number
term-
looks scarier, but long term, this is.
Yeah, that's my opinion. It's a much
It's
better
gonna be
option.
cheap.
Mhm.
So I think I've heard discussions about there being three options. Are we down to two?
Well, I mean, let me present all of them.
There's more.
Sorry,
Yeah.
there's another.
Yeah. Mhm.
Stopped him in his tracks.
Is this move, the second option, is move it from the high risk?
Yes.
Still there.
It essentially then becomes, and well, that brings us to our next slide. And so this is the same as built with these plans superimposed. So when they breach the dam, a drain channel comes through here. These areas right here represent slope cutbacks. So we're not talking about like a river channel. This would be a wide sloped grassed area. This channel would be lined with large stone or riprap. And then the bottom of the current reservoir would be recontoured so that all runoff finds its way down here. The pond cannot hold water this way. Here's a little conceptual idea for the fire department's tank. Like I said, the well's already over here. It could even be that we put the tank over here. That can be decided way later down the road. Intake structure right here that's in disrepair, that goes away. The demolished walkway goes away. Those are things that are no longer needed. Any questions about that one? So the next two alternatives we've kind of lumped together. I don't think either one of these are very viable options, but I wanted to present the report that we got from SNME in its entirety. So one option that was lowering the dam height. So taking it from its currently 29 feet and it holds around 8 million. We thought, well, what if we lower it down to say a 8 to 10 foot dam, make it a 1 to 2 million gallon impoundment? Would that get us away from this requirement and this high hazard listing? The DEQ short answer is probably not. That's got a much, the cost is a little bit easier to stomach on that one. And if the DEQ could guarantee us that we would be taken off the high hazard list, this would be the option that I would be suggesting. But because they can't guarantee that, then I don't think this is one that's very viable.
Why is it proposed? I mean, I guess I'm wondering if it wouldn't get us out of the high risk classification, what is the value? Just lower maintenance costs in the future and less actual risk, even though the classification doesn't get changed?
Right.
Okay. I got you.
So-
Go ahead, Tom.
Go ahead.
Well, this one would also, it would be an improvement for sure. And the reason that we were looking at this, we were trying to find the best, cheapest way to maintain a pond for the fire department.
Jake, besides decommissioning, can we do anything to remove that high risk classification or?
The gentleman that I spoke with at the DEQ told me that they have, his direct quote was, we have frog ponds that are considered high risk because of the structures downslope. So it isn't really the volume or the capacity that's keeping us on that
Or the
list, it's
integrity.
the amount of, or the integrity. The dam is not, I've been assured by the DEQ and by the engineers, it's not any kind of imminent threat. And I want to be clear about that. But if, you know, if we, as we plan, we get these, you know, we're seeing these major storms come through, if we talk about resilience and we're planning for the worst case scenario, I think that the most recent flood model we had, where if the dam broke all at once, there would be 2 foot of water on Fisher Creek Road in 5 minutes. So there's not much you can do for that. So again, we were trying to find a solution that would allow us to keep our pond and take us off the list, and this one didn't get us there. The only one that actually gets us there is decommissioning wholesale, yeah. And a little bit of what that would look like, you'd still have to devegetate the south slope of the dam. You'd still have to have an overflow, that's this structure right here. You just basically have a shallower pond. An alternative 3B, as we move dirt around, because there's a lot of soil in a 29-foot dam. Taking some of that as we decommission and building a smaller earthen dam in the location, the approximate location that I showed you where the tank would be. And again, beating a dead horse, that doesn't get us off the high hazard list. And at that price, that one's not even really worth talking about. And I want to make a point too, you know, for the money, if we're going to spend $288,000 is a lot of money, and $400,000 is a lot of money. If we're going to spend it, we need to remove the liability and get what the fire department needs. We're moving backwards if we spend a whole boatload of money and don't remove the risk and the liability, in my opinion.
Probably also the best decision for future maintenance as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, for sure.
So this tank we're talking about suffice and be big enough. All the activities up there.
Yeah, I wish Mike hadn't had to leave. That Mike's the one that gave us those numbers and that capacity. So in his opinion, yes.
Then we'll ask the question. We're buying that tank for the training purposes of all the fire departments, with the county helps participate in the cost of the tank.
It's certainly a question worth asking.
That's where I was going to. Seems like anything besides option 2 is kicking the can down the road.
Yeah.
We don't need this massive pond and dam there.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of full stop right there. I mean, just that statement, it's not
Right.
needed.
Right.
So to continue to pay for the liability of it and maintaining it just seems like kicking the can.
So
We're not going to need it.
Right. Well, and the can, to be candid, the can has been kicked as far as
Yeah.
it can be.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if decommissioning this thing would also be of a benefit to homeowners below, even in their insurance premium.
Also a valid point. I don't know, you know, what their homeowners policies look like, but I would certainly think maybe.
Talking about kicking the can, the 419. It looks kind of scary, but right, we're saving future taxpayers maintenance, that's right.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, what was the other option
Well,
at 288? You said that
It's
what was
not-
it, every 5 to 10
That's not
years,
bad.
there's a cost of upwards of $50,000-$60,000.
Yeah.
So after 20 so years, that's another $180,000, which puts you above 419.
And that doesn't factor in the intake structure or the line or any of that. Which could, I mean, you could spend between those two things, you could spend another $400,000 pretty
Yeah.
easily.
And I'm just spitballing, but I'm hearing that there's possibility of some grant money to help with it. There's also a possibility of using some of the Fisher Creek money for this. And there's also a possibility of using some from, capital improvements. Is that what?
Well, no, you use capital improvements for this, but you could use Fisher Creek water quality funding.
Is there a preferred choice for where the money comes from?
I think if we know that the board wants to lean towards decommissioning, we should start looking for grants and seeing what all is available. We've talked with the Southwestern Commission about that, to keep their ears open for some.
So do you need a motion and vote on this tonight?
I had not planned on you all doing that, but if you want to give us direction to move forward one way or the other, let's.
Seems like the consensus is, I don't want to lead anybody, but it seems like the consensus is option 2, decommissioning, and let's see if we can't figure out some funding.
That's where I'm leaning, but I want to make absolutely certain we've got what the fire department needs, and I don't want the rest of the county to be deprived from it not being big enough for them as well. Our companies came back in the room. This tank we're talking about replacing the pond with, is it big enough to supply everything that's needed for all the activities up there?
I don't know how big it is, how big is it?
But between 50 and 60,000 gallons.
That should do it, yeah.
And this is all very conceptual. As you can
Right.
see, there's no seal on those plans. I mean, that kind of thing can be figured out down
Well, I
there.
mean, the rest of that fire department stuff's actually the county, but we've got a partnership with the county and we've got an obligation to be a good neighbor with all that if we can, you know. Harry, you feel like the rest of us are?
Yeah.
Eliminate the risk for the town, do away with
I
it.
think that's a good option, and if the
Go ahead and
does
buy it.
pitch in for that tank, I mean, that's already dropping, there's 131,000 difference in option A and option B, and grants and stuff already brings us closer to that 288, which is seems more comfortable, but not that option.
So why don't we just entertain a motion that we direct staff to go ahead and pursue the concept of decommission and start trying to find the money?
Yeah, I don't think we need a motion vote on that, do we, Paige? You just need.
No, I think if you know the direction you all want to go, we can
Option 2 and 3.
grants and then
That's right.
ensure that that's adequate water. And then we'll come back with some options for how to pay for it.
So just the consensus of the board, and I think everybody's in agreement, that's what we're all leaning, is that correct? So we'll dispose of that item on the agenda.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, Dave.
Jake, you might as well stand up for a little while. We got to talk about, the slope repair on Ridgeway.
So what I'm looking for tonight is a budget amendment for the board to approve appropriating $400,000 from fund balance into the street department to fund the repair of the Ridgeway Street slope failure. So Jake estimated between $400,000 and $500,000 for a soil nail repair, which is what we did on Allen Street. And that's really all there is room for there because there's very limited shoulder. So an engineer confirmed that that's in the right ballpark for the estimate, and that's the appropriate repair method. We haven't budgeted for this, but if we had the budget amendment out of fund balance, our fund balance is currently at 68%, which is the town's goal. And our financial position is healthy, and that's the appropriate way to fund it to get this repair moving.
So you need a motion to vote on the budget amendment for that. Is there a dollar value there you want?
Yeah, so what I'm looking for is a motion that the board approves a budget amendment appropriating $400,000 from fund balance into the street department to fund the Ridgeway Street slope repair.
All right, so I've been paying a motion that we approve a budget amendment of $400,000 to start the repairs on Ridgeway Street.
That motion.
A motion, we have any more discussion? Yeah, good, good. Good. All in favor, raise your hand, side.
Right.
All opposed, by like sign, the motion carried. Resolution approving the use of design, build, construction, delivery methods. Is this specific to one project? I'm assuming Ridgeway Street.
No, this first resolution is overall, the town of Sylva has not done a design build project before. And so the legislature authorized towns and counties to use design build starting in 2013. But the local government has to establish written criteria on when you would consider using this type of construction delivery rather than the traditional bid method. So this resolution establishes the criteria that the state statute sets out, but also criteria the town would consider when using design build.
We're just saying we've authorized the use of it whenever it's been necessary.
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion that we approve that resolution. Have a motion, we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the like sign, motion carries. Very similar resolution approving the use of design build for the I'm assuming that's the grant for Pinnacle Park.
Yes, so the Parks and Recreation Trust Fund grant for Pinnacle Park. Staff's recommending using the design build method because we could do it faster. It would be cheaper, or it wouldn't be cheaper, it'd be the same amount of money. We have a $680,000 budget and we have to stick to that. That's the budget established by our grant funding. So there's so many components in this project with new trails, trail alignment, maintenance, stormwater, parking, outdoor classroom, and viewing platform that we were trying to get at how we would get contractors or whoever was submitting bids to submit the same proposal when there are so many varying factors. That design build made a lot more sense. Plus it was one contract and then they hire their subcontractors. So you still go through the RFQ process, but they don't submit a price. You talk cost after you have selected them as the most qualified.
It allows you to disclose your budget up front, which you would normally not do in a design build bid process.
That seems to be where the world's going to in my work as well. So I mean, it's just everything's going to design build. There's pluses for it in lots of ways, so.
Reduce the escalation costs because you save that time.
We've also got engineering firm that assumes the responsibility for all the things that are done as well. Takes liability off the town. Lots of things like that. I would entertain a motion that we approve that.
Make that motion.
Have a motion, do we have any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, side. Opposed, by like sign, motion carries. And the last thing on our agenda is a resolution approving the use of design build for Ridgeway Street slope failure.
Same premise, and exactly to what Joe just said. This would help us start sooner and control the cost before we have more and more water on the slope.
This may be semantical, but I'm just curious, having approved 7, why we need. Was 7 not kind of an approval for design, build, construction, delivery method, seemingly carte blanche?
Well, it allows you to use it when it meets the project, but
Okay, it still has to be approved per project.
You can't use it for every project.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, okay. So going forward, when we want to use design build, it'll still be something that we approve.
right, we would have to
The person
justify the
just saying we
criteria.
approve that we can approve.
Right.
We approve the method.
We approve that we will
Yeah.
be able to
We'll
approve
be
it,
able to.
yeah, in and out. I was just a couple bullets behind, that's all. Yeah.
I did turn a motion that we approve the resolution for design build use for the slope failure on Ridgewood. That motion, do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, side. Opposed by like sign, the motion carries. Now it's Brad Walter's turn.
Motion that we adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn. All in favor, raise your hand, side. Thank you.